Open this meeting with a moment of silence followed by the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom. I'm an alcoholic. Welcome you to the Stairway Group of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'll read the preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for a membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I'm going to have someone read how it works. Anybody?
I'll read how it works. I gotta pronounce the words. Chapter 5, how it works. Brother, have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path? Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves through the simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunate. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demand rigorous honesty. The chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from great emotional and mental disorder. But many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our story discloses in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. But if you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any lengths to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. That some of these involve. We thought we could find easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the honestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas and resort as nailed until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, powerful, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Have nature availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with all with complete anger. Here are the steps we took, which is suggested as a program of recovery. 1. We admitted we were powerless with alcohol that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have sat down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description to the alcoholic, the chapter to the agnostic, and our personal adventure to four and Alpha make clear three permanent ideas. A, that we are alcoholics and could not manage our own lives. B, probably no power could have removed alcoholism. C, God's will and would, but we will suffer.
Thanks, CJ. Well, Marilyn and Bill both aren't going to make it to the meeting tonight, and so I'm going to chair it. We stopped on page 139 last week, and it's in two employers. And I'm thinking, I'm not good at this yet, so what I think I'm going to do is just read a paragraph, and we stopped at after the paragraph that starts with, if you desire to help, it might be well to disregard your own drinking. I'm going to read that paragraph again and maybe discuss it and then go on a little bit more. It's on page 139. If you desire to help, it might be well to disregard your own drinking or lack of it. Whether you are a hard drinker, a moderate drinker, or a teetotaler, you may have some pretty strong opinions, perhaps prejudices. Those who drink moderately may be more annoyed with an alcoholic than a total abstainer would be. Drinking occasionally and understanding your own reactions, it is possible for you to become quite sure of many things which, so far as an alcoholic is concerned, are not always so. As a moderate drinker, you can take your liquor or leave it alone. Whenever you want to, you control your drinking. Whenever you want to, you control your drinking. Of an evening, you can go on a mild bender, get up in the morning, shake your head, and go to business. To you, liquor is no real problem. You cannot see why it should be, and to anyone else, save the spineless and the stupid. Now, if I don't. See, I'm one of those ones who can't understand someone who can stop drinking whenever they want to, or be a moderate drinker. I just can't understand that. And but this chapter 2 employers, I think it's talking to non-alcoholics and trying to give them some idea of the alcoholic and how to deal with it, or how to deal with them. I don't know what a teetotaler is. I've never been a teetotaler. I've never been a...
Teetotaler's the worst of the worst.
And yeah.
Always drunk, always insanely drunk.
A teetotaler is?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I thought he was someone who just drank a little bit.
Total is in there.
Teetotal.
Total.
Oh, okay.
Total alcohol.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Okay, anybody got any comments or anything on that?
I don't fit in any of those. Well, I mean, they're talking mostly moderate. We're looking at this from the employee's point of view.
Seems like to me, my name is CJ.
Hey, CJ.
I'm an addict of drinks. Sounds to me that it's telling the employee that I understand that you don't understand the drunk. There's a lot of people like you that they drink and have a good time and go home. And even if they get drunk that night, the next morning it's all right. They feel a little bad or have a little hangover, but that's over with. I had a rough time that night. I had a good time that night, whatever you want to call it. That was last night, and that won't happen again in 2 or 3 weeks. The next time they have a party or whatever you want, whatever get together, it won't be the next night they just different. And he's trying to explain to them that the only way that you can understand the alcoholic is read his book. Or experience it for yourself. And as you go down to detail, every time you see them, they might have a bottle. Hey man, you want a drink? But he take a couple of drinks, and you take a couple of drinks, and once you leave, you gotta go get your quart yourself, because now you don't got started. The liquor don't do him that way, He'll drink it and leave it, I might drink 4 since I'm with you, but I don't want no more. And you drink 4, you gotta go get 50 more, just because you took the first drink. He's trying to explain that this is the different behaviors of these people. And the damaging part about it is the drunk, the one that can't handle his liquor, his drugs. He just takes up. If he runs out of money, then he finds other avenues to get what he needs, And it's insane. This man can't understand that because he drinks too. I drink just like you drink, but I don't go through them extremes, I can leave it, man. I get broke, I go home, I drink enough. It's good time for me to go home. I got to go to work in the morning. It's time to go. I don't understand why you got to stay out all night and want to come to work, having slept all night. It don't make sense. That's what I see that he's trying to explain to the non-drinker. We're crazy people.
So it says at the beginning, so if you desire to be helpful, so he's talking to the boss who assumingly is not an alcoholic, but could be a hard drinker, a moderate drinker, or a teetotaler. You may have your strong opinions, perhaps prejudices. It says don't put them in there. Disregard your own drinking or lack of it. It's probably good, but for alcoholics, an alcoholic working with another alcoholic, he has to share his own drinking and experiences with it.
But you see, the alcoholic can understand who the other alcoholic is at that time. But the non-alcoholic, the one that don't drink, can't understand it. It's hard for him to understand it. He's going about what he's learned and other people's behavior or what he's read in the book. But the alcoholic himself is going by experience.
Right. Yeah.
He knows exactly what's going on.
So the boss is going to learn about how to deal with an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's the purpose of this, putting in the book right here. To the employee,
Yeah.
for the non-alcoholic, I'm going to explain to you what I'm about, the drunk. Don't punish me, don't fire me, help me,
Well, yeah. But it also helps me, and being an alcoholic, also helps me see what a hard drinker is and a moderate drinker and a teetotaler, and just reaffirms that I am an alcoholic. 'Cause I'm not any of those three. I'm full-blown alcoholic. I was a full-blown alcoholic.
There's something about this chapter that I still remember Jim saying all those years. Remember that Alcoholics Anonymous came from the Oxford groups, and the Oxford groups taught everybody that there was a spiritual solution to all your problems.
Mm-hmm.
And what all of these chapters say, to wives, to employers, the family afterward, all of these other chapters are saying that the same spiritual solutions that we have of forgiveness, faith in God, and making amends. And remember that faith in God is a very wide range of any kind of service to others without expecting anything in return. And what he's doing in this chapter to employers is what he does in all the other chapters. He's explaining to the employers that if you help your alcoholic who's in your company and drunk, then faith will come to you. Faith will come to everyone who helps others and expects nothing in return. But the first thing you read was, if you desire to help. That's the first part of that whole area. And whenever I take my guys through this book, I tell them, I want you to go in every one of these chapters and look how he subliminally tells people. Even this employer, he tells the employer that resentment toward that alcoholic is not going to be helpful to you or him, and you must be free of that resentment. He doesn't actually give directions like he does us to how to forgive, but you'll see how faith in God is outlined for the wives, for the family afterward, for everybody. And I always label every one of these like Jim did. He labeled them the 12 steps are for everyone.
Yeah.
Not just alcoholics. And that's the way I read all of these chapters from now on. That what he's doing in this chapter to employers is explaining that he has to forgive this employee because he's spiritually sick. And then he has to help this employee. That's path to faith in God. And And if there's been any wrongs done between the two of you, those wrongs must be made amends for. And that's basically, you'll see those in there subliminally. They'll be snuck in the side door all the time. He doesn't blatantly come out and put big red flags on them and say, look at this is the important part.
It's like stuff you learn if you follow it. I'd heard that there's nothing between the lines. It's written for the alcoholic who's always looking for shit between the lines. It's not. There's nothing between the lines. So maybe I was taught differently before Jim.
But if our spiritual solution is faith in God, and faith in God is in the form of working with others, and that's the definition of faith in God. In this whole area here, he's talking about how he can help this alcoholic employee in his. He's talking about helping this employer have faith in God.
And he learns faith in God. And what does the employer learn?
The employer gets faith in God by helping others.
Okay.
It's just it's the inevitable outcome, as Jim used to say. If you do what's outlined, you're going to get what they say you're going to get.
Now, the last sentence, you cannot see why it should be. Well, last two sentences. To you, liquor is no real problem. You cannot see why it should be to anyone else, save the spineless and the stupid. I see a lot of that. I just saw a kid at the bottom line. Kind of was. I tried to befriend him. He's going back to treatment. I really don't know what his deal was, but he looked down upon us alcoholics, like he did not want to be part of us. I mean, I see that a lot, and it's like, maybe that's that kind of person.
A person that don't drink, I can see him with these types of views of alcoholic, because he really can't understand. My father, my mother, people that don't drink, he had many years to do so, and did drink, but never got in trouble behind it. I can understand them looking at me and saying that he must be stupid, something wrong, because you keep going through the same thing. A fool keep doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
And knowing that, it's not good for him, so he's got a real problem. And when they say that, say, man, you're a fool. It's like, when you think about it, you're right. Because if I wasn't a fool, I wouldn't continue to do it. That's how I look at it, but the book tells me that I had a disease, It don't matter. If I was smart enough to get into disease and continue in disease, I should have been smart enough to get out of it, so it's still making me fool. Today, I'm not a fool because I'm doing what it takes to get out of it.
It's like, I know what's going to happen to this kid. He's going to get drunk again, and he's going to end up back in treatment, and he may die,
And those that look at me in that way today don't look at me that way, right? Because they don't see the actions of a fool. And that's important. That's what it's all about. Change the person that you was into the person who you are today. And this right here, when they say we spineless or stupid, it's like, I can understand what they're saying, because it seems like, saying to me, the spineless and the stupid are the ones that are living a good life. They're doing the right things. They're going about their business, and since they was 21, they've been coming up, still tearing life down, And I'm just the opposite, It seems like all the things that I had, I brought down with me, still continue to climb the ladder of life, to build a successful life, So I give them that opportunity, And my past, I look at my past and I say, oh well, I was, but today it's different, And no one can say that today, It's like I can't understand it today because I'm not that.
teachers would say something, yeah, they memorize these things. But one of them was, you were talking about fools. A fool never learns. A good man learns by his mistakes, and a wise man learns by the mistakes of others.
That's all like, excuse me, that's all like guys going out and they come in and get back to what they got. And they, you know what I'm saying, they help the ones that's in here. If we look at it in the right way, you know. It's like, hey, you can learn a lot from it, that
I found, like you were saying those last two sentences, I found from my own experience that if you're an alcoholic, or if you're somebody that works in a program directly with alcoholics, you know, that you're like a psychiatrist, psychologist, or something, you're really working in a program with alcoholics. The average person can't understand why you drink if you're an alcoholic. Just stop drinking. Don't make a big deal out of it. They don't understand it unless they've really been there. I've run into so many people throughout my life, you know, that
Yeah.
people do. Well, all you have to do is just quit. No big deal. But they're not drinking. They don't know. I don't care how many books you read. Like I said, unless you're an alcoholic, you're directly working with them. You know? Like my parents were like, my parents didn't drink. They weren't like against it. Like they weren't like Amish or nothing like that. I mean, they'd have like wine at Thanksgiving, bottled wine at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everybody have drink of wine with dinner and stuff, you know, like that. But they couldn't understand why I drank. No matter how much you talk to them, they just like couldn't really get it through to them. You know, it's really like whereas you come to these places, people know what it's like. It's so much more comfortable to talk to people that are, you know, alcoholics and some of these people like that. I think it's the same with the employers. I mean, things have changed and gotten better, but still, I don't. If an employer, you know, reading his book isn't gonna. He's still gonna have a hard time, I think.
Yeah, he's not going to fully understand the
Right,
alcoholic.
as far as what he wants to fire this guy or give him more time to work with, you know, the average employer really. Like I said, things have changed now. I've seen a lot of places now that if you got like a drinking problem, they will let you go into a program or you know, they'll give you some time to get yourself straightened out before they fire you. But a lot of them can't even be bothered with this fire. I guess it would depend too on how employed that person is.
I remember sitting down with somebody talking, they were talking to me about my problem, telling me how bad my life has become, you know, and what they see. Everything they were seeing was true, and I was feeling kind of pitiful for myself, you know, and I agree with everything they say in here because I know the truth. And I want to get high so bad, just sit there and listen to them tell me I shouldn't do what I do, you know, and I should stop and get some help and all this stuff. And all I can think about, but man, can I get out away from you and get high, you know what I mean? But I respect them trying to stay there and that look like, you know, I'm really, you know, into what they're saying. You know, it's truth. But it wasn't for me. The truth wasn't for me. Getting high was for me. If Herb finish talking and get going, I can go get what I need. And that's what we feel, you know, we understand this, you know. But the person that don't get high don't understand that feeling that's inside of you, ripping you apart, you know, saying you saying I could stop, I should stop, but I can't. There's no way. Soon you leave, I'm trying to push you away spiritually right now without telling you to leave me the F alone, you know. I go do what I want to do. And it's a bad thing. It's something that God has give us experience with just for us to help someone else. We suffer for someone else and not for someone. You know, that's a blessing for someone else.
I'll read the next paragraph. When dealing with an alcoholic, there may be a natural annoyance that a man could be so weak, stupid, and irresponsible. Even when you understand the malady better, you may feel this feeling arising. I did that just today with that kid at the other group. I just could not believe he's in treatment. he's going back to treatment because he took a break from it. I didn't understand what he was talking about. And he was like in complete denial. And anyway, that other guy just came in here a little while ago, said hi to me. He was in and out all the time. You know, it's like I feel annoyance. And that also means that normal people, non-alcoholics, have the same thing. So I can relate to this right here. I understand the malady better. A look at the alcoholic in your organization is many times illuminating. Is he not usually brilliant, fast-thinking, imaginative, and likable? When sober, does he not work hard and have a knack of getting things done? If he had all these qualities and did not drink, would he be worth retaining? Should he have the same consideration as other ailing employees? Is he worth salvaging? If your decision is yes, whether the reason be humanitarian or business or both, then the following suggestions may be helpful. Can you discard the feeling that you are dealing only with habit, with stubbornness, or weak will? If this presents difficulty, rereading chapters 2 and 3, where the alcoholic sickness is discussed at length, might be worthwhile. You, as a businessman, want to know the necessities before considering the result. If you concede that your employee is ill, can he be forgiven for what he has done in the past? Can his past absurdities be forgotten? Can it be appreciated that he has been a victim of crooked thinking, directly caused by the action of alcohol in the brain? Any comments on that?
Yeah, you just read how he can forgive his employee.
Yeah.
If you concede that your employee is ill, can he be forgiven for what he has done in the past? That's sort of a suggestion on number one, the spiritual solution of forgiveness.
Wow, yeah.
Up to the bottom of that last paragraph, he says, then the following suggestions may be helpful. So he's directing this employer to be helpful to this employee and to forgive him. Two of the most important things we have, faith in God and forgiveness.
Why we're reading it, that's what took me to the other big book, you know. He said, can you look past his faults and see his needs?
Remember that idea of forgiveness is based on seeing another person as spiritually sick. It's easy to forgive someone who you see as a lost child, someone who's not well, someone who's still trying to find their way. Where did he say that? Where the alcoholic sickness is discussed at length.
It'd be
A
worthwhile.
lot of times we see the fault of the person, and so we make it so broad of a view that we can't look behind and see the cause, the real need that would help dilute, you know what I'm saying, get rid of the situation. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, with our position, you know, we make things worse than what it really are, you know. A lot of times God gives us an avenue to use, you know what I'm saying, but we don't use it. The book is giving us experience, you know what I'm saying, that would be a tool to use when we see this guy in a bad way, that we could look away from that, you know what I'm saying, and feel what's really needed. With our experience, being alcoholics and addicts, we should be able to see past that.
And you know, this changed so much since this big book was written that employers aren't the same as they used to be. Now they got so many people and working so many different machines and stuff. It's easy to replace us. It's a lot easier than, oh, he's crazy, get rid of him, or he's a drunk, get rid of him. So I think this chapter, I was always told that every things should be read. The first 164 pages should all be read by the alcoholic. So, I mean, I should be getting something out of this to work with other alcoholics. I mean, not, you know, like here I was thinking about what a waste it'd be to waste time with this guy I was thinking about earlier. Well, maybe I shouldn't be. I mean, is he worth working with to save my own spread? Like, I was working with another guy from over there, which I'd heard a lot of people say he wasn't worth working with. I'm learning a lot from this guy, and the guy's changing. I mean, he's doing a lot better than he was a month ago, 2 months ago. I sometimes I really just don't know, and I turn it over to God, and it seems to work out right. Because that crooked thinking is talking. It said there, can it be appreciated that he has been a victim of crooked thinking, directly caused by the action of alcohol on the brain? And I have to consider that a lot of times when I'm working with other people who are in denial, or you know, just trying to communicate with them. Any thoughts? Okay, next paragraph. I will remember the shock I received when a prominent doctor in Chicago told me of cases where pressure of the spinal fluid actually ruptured the brain. No wonder an alcoholic is strangely irrational. Who wouldn't be with such a fevered brain? Normal drinkers are not so affected, nor can they understand the aberration of the alcoholic. Wow, no wonder. Your man has probably been trying to conceal a number of scrapes, perhaps pressy, messy ones. They may be disgusting. They may be a loss to the You may be at a loss to understand how such a seemingly above-board chap could be so involved. But these scrapes can generally be charged, no matter how bad, to the abnormal action of alcohol on his mind. When drinking or getting over a bout, an alcoholic, sometimes the model of honesty when normal, will do incredible things. Afterward, his revolution will be terrible. Nearly always these antics indicate nothing more than temporary conditions. Well, that's what I do on a blackout. I do things I would never normally do in a blackout.
I know sometimes I'll be high working and stuff, you know. Not be high, but went out the night before and go in and work the next day. I be working, but yet again my mind is focused on my drug life, you know. And I'm steady working, doing things, and not really concentrating on my work. The work is being done automatically, you know what I mean? And then after a while I realized, you know, man, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? It's a long day. You know, all the thing I can think about is a drug thing and induced mind. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about the lifestyle of using. You know, all that day long. It's a real dream-like day. You know, because I'm not really myself. I guess I'm half asleep and like a dream world and half awake. But I'm at work and I'm doing my daily tasks. But I'm not. When I'm not myself, I'm not doing the work I need to do. I'm not doing that perfect job since I'm a perfect dreamer. Now I'm doing a shabby job, but it's getting done. And I can remember just all day it seemed like I'm in a dream. It's not a real world. That's no way to be, you know. Anything could happen in that dream world. Then you realize that it's not a dream, it's reality. Then you
Thanks.
I think I learned something new here that I never heard at the beginning of that, on that one paragraph, is when it talks about the doctor in Chicago told the cases put pressure on the spinal fluid actually ruptures the brain. I have never heard anybody ever saying that in all the meetings I've been to and everything. Now, I've heard, what brain and stuff like that, but I've never actually heard the spinal fluid actually ruptured the pressure of the spinal fluid. I guess I know what they're talking about. I just never heard that. Also, you date this, that it was written, what was this written, 1938 or something like that? 39. It says, an above board chap. You don't really hear that word chap used in nowadays, very so.
I think it's an English thing. He went to
Yeah,
England.
it did,
He went to England.
Yeah, over there, you use it a lot. You wouldn't hear it like nowadays. Anybody said, I've never said that word hardly ever in my whole life.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had never seen that before either till tonight. That the spinal fluid actually ruptured. So that would mean that that spinal fluid's there causing pressure on your brain. Even if it hasn't ruptured, it's causing pressure, and it makes us alcoholics behave differently. When I say up above, crooked thinking, been a victim of crooked thinking directly caused by the action of alcohol on the brain. Yeah, I guess you learn something every day. Okay.
Say, who wouldn't be with such a fevered brain?
Yeah, something. I've never heard that saying before. A fevered brain.
Actually, I've never read two employers in a group, or actually, I don't think I've ever read two employers.
When you get sick, you're sick. But when you get sick and have a fever, you're really sick. Yeah, you really got a problem then. You got to watch, be careful because death will come after that. And once that fever comes, you got to be very careful.
Well, like this, I a little while too, with like when you're working, all the time you spend thinking about while you're working the day, about what you're gonna, what store am I gonna go to buy my alcohol? Do I have enough money for it? And where am I gonna go? And
Yeah.
while you're working, this stuff comes up in your brain, all through the day.
I'm going to spend this here and this here and get, yeah.
Every day
You almost just see yourself doing it. It's not, you're not even worrying no more. You're just in your head.
Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere. It's there. You're planning everything.
And that going because of this. This fluid.
Okay, this is not to say that all alcoholics, this is top page 141. This is not to say that all alcoholics are honest and upright when not drinking, which I was. I never had to drink to go to jail. Now, of course, that isn't so, and such people often may impose on you. Seeing your attempt to understand and help, some men will try to take advantage of your kindness. If you are sure your man does not want to stop, he may as well be discharged. The sooner the better. You are not doing him a favor by keeping him on. Firing such an individual may prove a blessing to him. I think going to jail would be a blessing to a lot of people. It may be just a jolt he needs. I know in my own particular case that nothing my company could have done would have stopped me for so long as I was able to hold my position. I could not possibly realize how serious my situation was. Had they fired me first, and had they taken steps to see that I was presented with the solution contained in this book, I might have returned to them 6 months later a well man. I lost every job I had before I started drinking because of my drinkingness and inability to get along with people. So, I know what this guy was going through. it's the really good jobs that I got. Oh fuck! I can't believe I lost that job. And then it's the menial jobs, and I always got drunk over. I got drunk over them all. Let me see, where was I? Oh, okay. But there are many men who want to stop, and with them you can go far. Your understanding treatment of their cases will pay dividends. So it's saying that the employee who has an alcoholic who wants to stop drinking can definitely make money or make his business better by keeping this alcoholic on and seeing him through his recovery. Perhaps you have such a man in mind. He wants to quit drinking and you want to help him, even if it be only a matter of good business. Oh, there you go, good business. You now know more about alcoholism. You can see that he is mentally and physically sick. You are willing to overlook his past performances. Suppose an approach is made something like this. State that you know about his drinking and that it must stop. You might say you appreciate his abilities, would like to keep him, but cannot if he continues to drink. A firm attitude at this point has helped many of us. That happened a couple of times to me, but it didn't do any good. I think I was driving heavy equipment for a place and I was drinking and I just wouldn't quit drinking, so they had to let me go.
Well, you had those two spiritual solutions you brought up.
Good. Point them out. I skipped right over them.
Perhaps you have such a man in mind, he wants to quit drinking, and you want to help him.
That's forgiveness.
That's faith in God. Yeah.
Faith in God.
Faith in God is to help him, and even if it only be a matter of good business, you know more about alcoholism. You can see that he is mentally and physically sick. Seeing these people as being mentally and physically sick is the key to forgiveness. In the seventh step, you're supposed to ask for help with this, and in the third step, he states that we can't get rid of these things on our own. We have to have God's help. So I would almost say 50% of forgiveness is seeing these people that you're angry with as they're spiritually sick. The other 50% is asking God for help with it. Because we're alcoholics, but maybe it's different for other people. I don't know. Maybe other people, just to see someone as being, sick, instead of a bad person, to see them as a sick person is enough to help them forgive them.
Cool.
But those spiritual solutions are brought up throughout all these chapters. He subliminally throws them out there over and over and over.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot.
Yeah, I like how you pointed that out because it shows that I see here is the person that want to help, not keep men that want to help. A lot of times we might be in a situation that we want to help and don't have the knowledge to help, don't know how to help. And that's right, what we're doing now, instead of the big will give us knowledge how to help a person,
I get guys, the sponsees, who know that helping others is the key to their future and still don't do it because they're afraid of whatever, afraid of failure, afraid of success, afraid of... He's making reference to this guy who wants to help and he's going to help him. I get guys who I tell them flat out, you got to go help people, and they go, I'm just going to hang out for a while.
You got to pray to God to ask God to help you be able to help. Because a lot of times in the position you want to help and miss the opportunity to help because of your thoughtfulness. You're thinking about doing it, you don't do it.
I always thought it was a matter of lack of motivation. That they just need to drink a little more and feel the suffering of the drinking to motivate them to do the work. But I got a guy who I swear to you is one of the worst people you've ever met. And he gets drunk like every weekend. He makes a good paycheck. He goes out, he's 2 or 3 weeks sober and gets drunk. And he knows about helping others, and he never actually says the same thing that most people say. I've only got a couple of weeks, what can I do? I tell them, you're like 50 years old. You can't throw that 50 years in the garbage can because you drank last week. You gotta pick up the ball and run with it. You can't just like say, well, let me get 2 or 3 months, 6 months sober, and then I'll start helping other people, because you're not gonna make it to 2 or 3 months, 6 months sober if you don't start helping other people now. And some people just don't get it. I don't know why.
Yeah, they don't have to get all through the 12 steps. They just start helping.
I always say, if that's the rule of thumb, if the rule of thumb is that you want to get a better understanding of the steps before you help others, then at what point is it that you're saying that you're going to start? Are you going to start when you get, say, let's put it in the level 1 through 10. Level 10 being the smartest man in the world about the 12 steps, and level 1 being the guy who's out there drinking. So where are you going to wait till you get to level 5 and an understanding of the steps before you start helping others? Or do you start at level 2 or 3, or wait till you get up to level 8? You know, because where's the line that you draw and say, okay, now this is the point that we start helping other people? And I always say as soon as possible. And if you'll read the literature, you'll see that Bob was like 2 or 3 days sober. He had 1 day sober, and he said, I guess we better start looking for drunks to help. And he was 3 days sober when they found somebody. And then that other guy, the third guy, Bill Dobson, was within a few days, he was helping people. And Bill Wilson was helping people right away. Abby Thatcher only had a couple of months under his belt when he tried to help Bill Wilson. To me, it seems to be a matter of trying to get that point across to them, that the sooner you start helping people, the sooner you'll be safe and protected, you know? And that you're going to grow both your knowledge of the steps and how to work them in your life, and the ability to teach them to other people are going to grow at the same time. You're going to be, it's not like you have to wait for your knowledge of the steps to start doing it, because if you do, you're going to end up with the same thing that all these people are talking about. Nobody makes it in AA anymore. Nobody's staying sober. Yeah, well, I wonder why. Everybody seems to be waiting for the right opportunity to start helping people. You know, at what point do you go, well, I'm smart enough now and I can start helping others? You're not going to make it. You're going to drink and you're going to keep going, well, what the hell's going on?
Like I said, a lot of opportunities may come our way, and we got to be ready to, you know what I'm saying, take opportunities instead of being scoffing and so forth. Whatever word you got to use.
What I was saying about your 50-year-old man, 40-year-old man, 35-year-old man, and you can't just take those 35 years and chuck them in a can and say, I'm a child, I know nothing. You can't do that, because it's a simple program of getting out of self, you know. And I always tell my guys, I say, look, I can take 3 hours and explain the entire program of recovery to you, and you'll know what to do. But most people just seem to put that wall up of somehow they don't feel you know, adequate. They don't feel prepared enough to help others. I think that's one of the biggest problems we have today, that we would have more people staying sober if we did like the Cleveland group and assign sponsees to people when they came in the door. Somebody at the door goes, hey, you ever been here before? No. How long have you been sober? Oh, I just came in. Well, we got the guy for you right over here. He's got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the guy who's helping him's got a month, and the guy who's helping him's got 6 months.
But then somebody's going to say, "Oh, you can't have organization," and you know, and somebody's going to be saying that there are no leaders.
I never heard that.
Well, somebody
have
would. Somebody.
organization and assigning sponsees and sponsors.
Well, there are no. I mean, I think there would probably end up being problems. I mean, it would really be good that way, because Jim talked about.
We got those people now. I don't know if you weren't at the new meeting at the bottom line, but Kevin was there, and that's all he did was tell everybody in the meeting about how we got to keep this guy out here out. He's right
One-arm
here.
Kevin?
No,
Oh,
one-arm
okay,
Kevin's
okay.
full of himself.
Yeah, okay.
This is Kevin, anti-God Kevin at the bottom
Oh,
line.
yeah.
Anti-God Kevin is one of the people who runs the bottom line. He helps pay the bills. He's got like millions of dollars. He's like a millionaire.
Okay.
He's got half the room works for him. At any point, you could be in that room, and at least 5 people in that room work for him. He's got like a hospital or some shit.
Oh, okay.
And he's always coming in there. You can't hang out out front. You can't do this. You can't. And I'm like, you know, funny. But he's part of the problem there.
Pompano Beach View.
Beaches is a member of the Pompano.
Oh, that's nice. See, when I was in, you guys familiar with Broward Outlet Center?
Broward Outreach.
It's a program. It's out near the turnpike and the jail out there off of Hamilton Road.
Yeah.
It's a program. After you're in the program for a while, they have in-house AA people come in, institution, hospitals, those people. But after you've been in for a while, they let you go to outside meetings. They take you there and
From the jail?
No, yes, the place is near the jail.
Oh, okay, so you don't.
Yeah, you live there. The program, they it's like a 3 month.
I didn't know that.
It's a 3 month program. They have classes and stuff, how to utilize it. But anyway, we used to go 2 outside meetings, and one was the bottom line, and one was Pompano Beach. That's what I was thinking. I was confusing the 2 names.
Yeah, she's still sober and she helps the best she can. I mean, she's spiritually fit.
That used to be the juvenile detention center back in the 70s. I was in there.
Right.
When it was a juvenile detention
Right.
center. Yeah. It was a Jew. I was in there for grand theft auto and burglary and possession of a firearm. We were just stealing shit to get high on. That's all we were doing. We were stealing shit to get beer and weed, everything we can get our hands on.
These are good old days.
Having a white chipper on me.
Yeah.
Way over east.
Hey, she got one last week.
Big little runway up there so they go up and turn back and forth. You know what the ones up here now.
Well, what time is it? I can't even see the clock. Well, I'm gonna close it. Yeah, close
When
it.
they're having that clap-a-thon, you know it's over.
I'm gonna try this up again.
Okay.
There's 4 of us in here.
I just want to go through it because I never did it right yet.
Practice.
Practice.
If you haven't read the blue.
Oh, sure.
Rough on the outside, smooth in the middle.
What's today's date? 17th?
Today's like 10th or something.
10th? Oh, okay, alright, 10th.
I got a card for my mom. It's one of the ones you open up and it plays music, and it's the Witch of the West from, what's the name of that? The Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
It's got the Wizard of Oz. It's got the Wizard. Not that she's a witch, but it says something about it.
That's all I need.
You can do something on Halloween or something.
Okay.
What I heard somebody else say, when you're in AA, you see people that don't sponsor anybody. They just hang out and they don't ever do anything. And we know it keeps us sober because they're not real alcoholics. And this isn't life and death for them. If they're a real alcoholic, they would not be able to stay away from that first drink if they weren't doing everything that they could. Right?
I think I just made it like
There's a difference. There's a difference. And that's what I tell my sponsees. I say, look, you come into AA and you say, well, that guy sits there and he don't do nothing. He don't help nobody. He don't do anything around here to make it look like he's in recovery. But he stays sober. I go, well, that's him. And he may not be like me. Is Steve coming tonight or you?
I don't know. I was on the side of him a few minutes ago before I came here. I meant to ask him, but I didn't. But since I saw him, I got figured he would come.
Steve, the guy you work with?
Yeah.
I saw a guy on the back of the truck the other morning, and I went out. I said, I dare Steve. Get somebody else to go work with him. And go to that, he's working.
the second one you went to. But now it's different. It's
Walk right on the job site.
Yeah.
I go to, like I went to Bowen Children's Club once, right? I just walked through the gate and went to the area I want to work in. And talked to the guy. He said, "You fill out application?" I said, "No." He said, "Let me fill out one." I'm like, let it get on the guy talked to me. And she called me and I got the job the same day. I was like, look.
What's this thing over here? Business meeting or something?
Yeah. It's a 6 o'clock business meeting.
The what?
The 6 o'clock meetings,
Oh.
business meeting.
But I wonder sometimes if I did have a job, what I'd be still there. I've been there going for 7 months.
I know one thing. I looked in the trade section yesterday. Two fucking jobs in there now. That thing's.
I stopped by.
There's times when that thing had 300 fucking jobs.
Yeah, I stopped by. Sometimes you get a deal with it.
They're like 75 cents now. What the fuck, man? They were a quarter. Now then they were 35 cents. They went from a quarter to 35 and then up to 75 in like 2 years.
What?
The newspaper. It's 75
yeah.
cents every fucking day now. It was 25 cents 2 years ago.
Well, everybody's got the internet. They get their news on the internet, so.
They're not getting the revenue from the advertisements in the paper. The advertisers in the paper dropped all the shitload of their advertisers back down. I guess we're not going to get anybody tonight, huh? It's 7:30.
About 5 minutes.
7:25.
Look at one of my sponsees says he's going to speak tonight at 10 o'clock for Roger. That weird guy, Zion.
Zion?
Yeah. I wouldn't even call him a sponsee. He doesn't listen to anything I fucking say.
But he knows everything now.
I told him 4 times today, you got to get rid of your anger toward your mom and your sister because they screwed him out of his inheritance. It was like a couple $100,000 or something, and they took it all. And I go, you got to forgive them. He's like, oh, but they fucking don't do this and they fucking don't do that. Well, you got to forgive them. I know, but you know they fucking do this and they fucking do that. And I said, you know what? I give up. You stay mad. Call them up and tell them how stupid they are.
Seems like they should hold it. If we take the court or something. It's a bigger thing.
Yeah, I don't. These 2 days they're in Israel. That's like 15,000 miles away.
That's where his family's at?
On an airplane, it takes them 24 hours to get there.
Jesus.
That's what I said. I said I'd be going there like one more time before I die. Hey,
Well, that's where his money's at. So.
Well, think of it. The level got stolen out of the back of my truck.
Yeah.
Steve left his 6-foot level, and that guy who just came in here is the one that did it.
Oh, Frankie?
I can't think anybody else who would be in the parking lot with balls enough to go through people's pickup trucks and the backs up, because it wasn't. It was down in there. It wasn't.
Yeah.
You could just reach over and grab it, but still, it was. You had to literally get up and look down in there. My truck's up on the ground. Little Toyota trucks, you can look right down in the bed. In my truck, you got to walk up to it and look into it.
Was that the same guy you were mentioning today?
That's who I was talking about.
It was.
We were talking
it was
about
Tuesday
it.
night.
He's
today.
here.
Tuesday night, it ended up missing. I went to the bottom line Tuesday night because I know it's not missing out of my driveway. I live in Lighthouse Point.
Right.
Nothing misses out of your driveway in Lighthouse Point, except your neighbor when they took him to jail or some shit. All those fucking cops pull. Oh, man, they are so freaking rough. That's the worst police department I've ever had to deal with.
Hey, is he out there?
What's that?
Frankie out
We're talking boobs and bugs and stuff.
there? So I said, is Frankie over there?
Oh, he was here, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him over there.
He was at the other
I
meeting.
checked to make sure it's locked.
He was telling me about how rough this guy was. I didn't know he was up there until now.
Yeah, he's real angry, man. I can't approach him and talk to him. I think he got banned for a while.
Good. Then I feel safer.
I don't even want to talk to him. He's always so fucking pissed off and angry.
Or whining. I need help.
So you've been around for a while and never changed it. Never changed it. Same guy. Same person he was when you got there. Huh?
Yeah, I've known him probably 2 years, maybe. Maybe more. I can't remember.
Yeah, he's been around a long time. So we're gonna have an A meeting. Or hang out in NA.
You mean marijuana's not?
Our marijuana's anonymous. Same thing.
We're gonna have a meeting here.
Might as well.
You know, all you're gonna hear in there is Congress Anonymous.
Yeah.
With some boobs and butts over there.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It's nice.
It always is.
I read somewhere in that book in front of us that if whenever two or three come together,
You have a meeting.
have a meeting. It is feasible to call it.
Okay, we stopped in the family afterwards. But I'd rather have Bill finish it. I guess I could. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it.
You got no minute to think about it.
No minutes. Well, let's